Speaking of British, people that don't know Miss Osmond.
Oh, God.
Here, she's half British.
Yes, I am.
Do you ever get to travel to London?
No, I've never been out of the country, actually.
Really?
Yeah, my dad's like, the reason we have not been is because my dad is like, maybe I shouldn't say this on air. I might get my dad deported. But no, he has a green card. It's just that we have such a trouble trying to get him a new passport. So if he leaves, he might not be able to come back. I don't know. He's tried so hard to he has to do it through the British embassy or something. I don't know. I might have just made that up. But there's something going on with his passport. But his sister has a passport and she travels all the time.
So why is it hard for him?
Beats me.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, I think your dad, I've met your dad, twice?
Yeah.
And we make fun of how he says banana.
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 Can I have a banana milkshake, please?
Can you do a London accent pretty easily because your dad's British?
Yeah, I could switch in and out of it without knowing sometimes. I didn't know when I was growing up. If he would come on field trips with me, and people would be like, "I love your dad's accent," and I'm like, "What accent are you talking about?" Because I guess me growing up with it, I couldn't hear it. I hear it now, but I never heard his accent. I'm like, he doesn't have an accent. What are you guys talking about? But he has an accent.
He does. He does have an accent.
But it's not strong, though.
Yeah, it kind of goes in and out. Yeah. How long has your father lived here? In the States?
From when he was 13. So he's been gone a long time.
Yeah, so he's been Americanized.
Yes.
But he still can't say banana.
No. He says half. He half. He says half. But I don't know. He says some stuff in a British accent, but
does he say herb or herb?
No, he probably says herb. Or herb. Herb? No, he says herb. No. One time, because his sister has an accent, but he doesn't. So I don't know what we were doing or why we were together, but we were walking to Applebee's. And I was like, how do you guys say laboratory? My dad screws it up and goes, laboratory. And my aunt goes, laboratory. And I'm like...
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to say it in the English way.
Right. But my dad screws it up because he does stuff like that on purpose.
Come over here. We're going to go into my laboratory.
Yeah.
And look at these herbs.
And you say herbs, and we say herbs because there's a fucking H in it.
Well, you're really good at your accent. You can switch in and out. You can do a lot of accents.
I can sort of do accents.
Yes.
The one accent I have a lot of trouble with is the Australian accent. That fucking accent is really hard.
Well, you just say rise of blades.
Rise of blades.
Rise of blades. I've tried to do an Australian accent. I'm obsessed with that. Australia in general. So I was like, no. That's
right. They go. They don't say no. They go no.
Yeah.
It's there's a R and a W in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I found myself doing it way more than I should. Oh my god. I just thought of something. When I talk to people with accents, I'm like, please, Chelsea, do not talk back.
Oh, I do the same thing. I totally do the same thing. I call myself, I'm like a mimicker. If whoever I'm with, if I'm with someone who has a really strong Southern accent, then I start pulling out the Southern accent.
I do the same thing.
For no reason.
Yes, when I was younger and we would go to Wisconsin and be with my aunts and stuff, or my cousin Julia, they come over and I'll be around them so long and I'll start picking up the way they say stuff. I'm like, God, I've got a British accent now.
Yeah, I do that, dude. This is really funny. When I was in Five Knives and I was touring a lot, and I was in LA with another band that was on the label, and I can't for the life of me remember the band's name, but they were really nice dudes, and we were out it was like a big label party with all the bands, and we were, a lot of drinking and whatnot. My parents were there, and yeah, my parents were there. It's hilarious. But I'm sitting here, I'm hanging out with this group of British people, and eventually over time, because I'm drinking, the drinks are flowing, and now I'm way buzzed, and then I'm all of a sudden start talking in a British accent
to them.
What
they say?
I unbeknownst unbeknownst to me, I was doing it, and Nathan, the guy in my band, like turned to me and was like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, what do you think I'm doing? I'm having fun with my new friends. And yeah, I didn't say that.
Shane.
But, yeah, it was, they didn't say anything because they were really nice guys, but I was like, I think back to that moment, it's like, God, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You idiot.
I try so hard not to do that. I'm like, oh my God, these people are going to be so mad if I start talking in an accent. So I have to like overly American my act. Like I'm like overly American now.
How are you doing today? Fantastic.
And then I'm like, they probably think I sound like an idiot. Like I feel like when I talk to British people that like, how do I talk? Like, how do I sound to them? I probably sound dumb to them because British people are like,
well, they have what I like to call accent. There was another word for it. They people with English accents appear smarter than they really are.
Yeah.
It's because they say laboratory instead of laboratory.
But no, they I don't know. I used to describe their accent as like a happy accent. Like, I don't know why when I was little.
They don't always sound happy,
right? They sound really happy.
Yeah, they always do.
And they just sound like really proper. And like they have so much etiquette. And like they wear like hankies and lace. Like everyone's a queen.
Do you watch Downton Abbey?
No.
Okay. Neither do I. But I had friends who fucking loved that show. And I would like watch previews of that show. I'm like, it's just British people going, hello. Right. Or just like drinking tea. I'm like, how is this entertaining to American audiences?
Everybody wants to be British.
Everyone wants to be British. Your grandfather.
Oh God.
You told me this and I was like, that's freaking crazy. Cause I listen to the Joe Rogan podcast and he talks about psychedelics all the time. And your grandfather actually invented the term psychedelic. Dr. Humphry Osmond.
Yeah. And
it's very cool. Like he died in 2004. Did you like get to see him and stuff? No?
Well, maybe. I mean, how old was I in 2004?
How old were you in 2004? You're 22. You're my like youngest friend that I actually can have a conversation with.
How old was I in 2004? Like 6.
Do you remember him at all?
Not really. Maybe because they lived in Tuscaloosa when I was little. So I remember like him sitting in a chair. Maybe I should have brought some photos. But he used to sit in this like red chair. I remember that. But he was like really old by then and had like Alzheimer's. So.
No. Well, Humphrey Fortescue. Very British name.
Yeah, that's my dad's middle name too.
That's Fortescue. That's awesome. He was an English psychiatrist who is known for inventing the word psychedelic and for his research into interesting and useful applications for psychedelic drugs. Osmond also explored aspects of psychology of social environments, in particular how they influenced welfare or recovery in mental institutions. Mm-hmm. That is really, and I read this. This is really cool. Excuse me. Osmond and Abram Hoffer were taught a way to maximize the LSD experience by the influential layman Al Hubbard.
Oh yeah, those names.
Yeah, we're just getting into it right now. Osmond is also known for a study in the late 1950s in which he attempted to cure alcoholics with LSD. He claimed to have achieved 50% success rate. Osmond noticed that some drinkers were able to give up their drinking after an episode of delirium tremens, which is a rapid onset of confusion usually caused by withdrawal from alcohol, and tried to replicate the state in patients through giving them high doses of the drug. That's pretty damn cool. Because, and you know why it's cool is because psychiatrists now and today are reintroducing LSD.
That's why we're going to New York.
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah. Or, I mean, wherever they're doing like a book or something, like on that research.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're going to New York for that. I guess so he can have like family members at his little
That's so cool.
thing, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that like that's because it's your family, and I know it's weird, but like I listened to a podcast where like literally there'd be a whole podcast where he talks to scientists who are literally and researching this stuff like today, and they're finding great success in like curing depression and anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder from people coming in back from war and seeing some really crazy shit, and then they'll take like either they'll be in a clinical setting where they'll give them small doses of like MDMA and then have a psychiatrist there to talk them through their problems and stuff. And they're having great success in helping people deal with horrible shit that's happened to them in their past, which is pretty freaking cool.
I know. And then the guy who invented it an accident. He was trying to do something else and took it and then tripped out and was like, this is going to work with something else. Like,
Guys, something just happened to me. I flew into myself and then my ego was destroyed. I am not me anymore.
Something's wrong with you. Did you fly into LSD?
But no, that's like it's interesting because like I said today, like scientists today are publishing more studies around this stuff. And here's another article from like Business Insider. It's like the first published in the journal Frontiers in Psychopharmacology found that the quality of the psychedelic trip was directly linked with how much someone's depressive symptoms decreased. In other words, the more connected someone felt during an immediately the more connected someone felt during and immediately after the trip, the longer those feelings lasted and the less depressed they felt. That said, a high-quality trip should not be confused with quote-unquote good or bad feelings, since some highly therapeutic trips can involve a fair amount of anxiety, which is quite true if you've ever done any of that.